Hello dear students, welcome to this lecture on the topic Features of Development Research. Some of the key objectives of this lecture are to define development, discuss the concept of development research, explain its purpose, discuss its features, explain approach to development research, and finally I will conclude this lecture by talking about the types of development research. Let me begin this lecture by providing a comprehensive understanding of development administration and its origin. Development is an elusive term meaning different things to different groups of social scientists. Most would agree, however, that development implies more than just a rise in real national income. It must be a sustained secular rise in real income accompanied by changes in social attitudes and customs which have in the past impeded economic progress. Development is a dynamic process that fosters growth, progress, and positive transformation. It serves as a vital indicator of a healthy society. It's a process that creates growth, brings in progress and positive change. The concept of development is used to refer to the total transformation of a system. Development implies a progression from a lower and often undesirable state to a high and preferred one. According to the United Nations Development Program, development is to lead long and healthy lives, to be knowledgeable, to have access to the resources needed for a decent standard of living, and to be able to participate in the life of community. Achieving human development is linked to a third perspective of development, which views it as freeing people from obstacles that affect their ability to develop their own lives and communities. Development can also be defined in terms of attacking widespread absolute poverty, reducing inequalities, and removing spectre of unemployment. All these being achieved within the context of a growing economy. This led to the redefinition of development in terms of both redistribution with growth and meeting the basic needs of masses of population. According to Rodney, development is a multi-dimensional process. At the individual level, it implies increased skill and capacity, greater freedom, creativity, self-discipline, responsibility, and material well-being. At the level of social groups, development implies an increasing capacity to regulate both internal and external relationships. Rogers defines development as a type of social change in which new ideas are introduced into a social system in order to produce a high per capita income and levels of living through modern production methods and improved social organization. Therefore, real development involves a structural transformation of economy, society, polity, and culture of satellite that permits the self-generating and self-perpetuating use of development of the people's potential. Rostov sees development in terms of modernizing a basically traditional society or a subsistence sector of a developing society with the aim of attaining sustained growth. He also regards 4 stages as essential in delineating the process of development. First, the traditional society. Second, the precondition for takeoff. Third, the takeoff. And fourth, sustained economic progress. Now let us talk about the development research, its conceptual understanding. Research is a planned search or critical investigation aimed at discovery of new knowledge. It means search for facts, answer to questions, and solutions to problems. Research is a form of organized intellectual work closely associated with the conduct of science. It's a purposive investigation. It's an organized inquiry and seeks to find explanations to unexplained phenomena, to clarify the doubtful facts and correct the misconceived facts. Research is undertaken in order to enhance our knowledge of what we already know, to extend our knowledge about aspects of world of which we know either very little or nothing at all, and to enable us to better understand the world we live in. There are different types of research based on the nature and purpose of research. Development research involves the systematic examination and analysis of various factors associated with the development process, including economic, social, political, and environmental dimensions. Its primary objective is to generate knowledge that can effectively contribute to enhancing living standards, overall well-being of society, and the progress of both individuals and societies. It helps us in exploring problems to plan effective programs, understanding the needs of communities, collecting detailed information on specific issues, and evaluating the outcomes of development programs. This broad spectrum of activities encompasses everything from analyzing existing data to undertaking large-scale international projects. Development practitioners share many similarities with researchers in their day-to-day work. They conduct situation analysis and need assessments, investigate people's perspectives, and probe into the underlying causes of problems. However, their approach differs in certain aspects. While both researchers and development practitioners may employ methods such as interviews, observations, and group discussions to understand the priorities of communities they work with, development researchers place a strong emphasis on informal interactions. They view the people they engage with as partners and collaborators in their research, valuing their knowledge and wisdom. Development researchers see themselves as learners, actively listening to the voices of the community and recognizing the importance of sharing information. They firmly hold the belief that development research can only be successful when the subjects of research actively participate in all phases of action and research. Development workers are in the business of creating social change and need to take a pragmatic approach to the use of research in their work. Policymakers rarely commission such research, at least compared to the investments for development itself. Its characteristics and added value demand better theoretical articulation, more empirical evidence, wider application in development practices, and a more prominent place in professional and scientific publications. There is a broad variety of activities with different emphasis in their primary aims under the main umbrella of development research. Also, on a rather abstract level, one can distill a very general aim of all approaches reducing uncertainty of decision making in developing interventions. Examples of topics covered in development research include poverty alleviation, sustainable development, gender equality, education access, healthcare delivery, environmental conservation, and economic growth. In short, development research plays a crucial role in informing decision-making processes. It serves various purposes, from planning programs to evaluating their outcomes. Development practitioners and researchers share common ground in their work, but the approach of development researchers emphasizes the informal interactions and collaboration with the community. They value the knowledge and wisdom of the people they work with and prioritize their active involvement throughout the research process. Overall, development research plays a vital role in informing policies, guiding interventions, and promoting positive social and economic change to foster sustainable development. Now let us talk about the purpose of development research. Research, as already said, plays a crucial role in development work, serving multiple purposes. The purpose of development research is to provide valuable insights that can inform decision-making processes ranging from addressing specific policy-related issues to assisting practitioners in achieving their objectives. One vital motive arises from realization that traditional research approaches such as experiments, surveys, and correlation analysis primarily focus on descriptive knowledge. Unfortunately, these approaches often fail to provide practical solutions for a wide range of development problems. This poses a significant challenge for development workers who must navigate the uncertainties inherent in their complex tasks within rapidly changing contexts. When seeking research support to mitigate these uncertainties, they often encounter several frustrations. The answers provided are too narrow to be meaningful, too superficial to be useful, too artificial to be relevant, and to make matters worse, they are usually delivered too late to be of any practical value. The optimization of interventions is particularly geared towards achieving practical outcomes in specific situations. Additionally, various approaches aim to stimulate professional development of participants, which is another important objective. Moreover, this motive seems to be at the forefront of many action research activities. Thus, development research serves multiple purposes. It addresses the limitations of traditional research approaches by offering practical solutions to complex development problems. It also focuses on optimizing interventions and fostering professional growth of participants. By understanding these objectives, development workers can effectively navigate the uncertainties they face and make meaningful contributions to their field. Furthermore, the goal of development research is to generate knowledge that can contribute to the improvement of living standards, well-being, and overall progress of individuals and societies. Now let me talk about some of the important features of development research. In the field of development research, several key features contribute to its effectiveness and relevance. Here are some of the key features of development research. Number 1. Multidisciplinary in nature. Development research often involves collaboration between various disciplines such as economics, sociology, political science, anthropology, environmental science, and more. This interdisciplinary approach allows for a comprehensive understanding of complex factors influencing development. Second, problem-oriented. Development research typically addresses specific issues or challenges related to development, such as poverty, inequality, education, healthcare infrastructure, and sustainable resource management. Researchers aim to identify solutions and strategies for positive change. Number 3, applied and action-oriented. Development research is often practical in nature with the focus on providing actionable solutions and recommendations for policymakers, practitioners, and communities. The ultimate goal is to translate research findings into policies and interventions that can bring about positive change. Number 5, empirical testing. Clear empirical evidence is delivered about the practicality and effectiveness of the intervention for the intended target group in real user settings. In view of the wide variation of possible interventions and contexts, a broad range of direct, indirect, intermediate, ultimate indicators for success should be considered. Number 5, documentation, analysis, reflection on process and outcomes. Much attention is paid to systematic documentation, analysis, and reflection on the entire design development and evaluation implementation process and on its outcomes in order to contribute to the expansion and specification of the methodology of design and development. Number 6, long-term perspective. Development research takes a holistic and enduring approach, recognizing that sustainable development requires a long-term perspective. Researchers track change over time and assess the long-term impacts of policies and interventions. 7th, ethical considerations. Ethical considerations play a crucial role in development research, particularly when working with vulnerable populations. Researchers must ensure the well-being, rights and dignity of individuals or communities involved in the study. Number 8, global and local dimension. Development research can be conducted at various scales, ranging from local community-based studies to global analysis. It considers the interconnectedness of local, national and global factors that influence development process. Number 8, empowerment. Development research seeks to empower subjects of research. It strongly believes in the voices of people and puts the people first in all its endeavors. It adapts the philosophy of let them do, let them decide and let them own. Thus, it consciously allows the voiceless, the powerless and the marginalized and deprived sections of community to take control over their lives. The researchers in the course of time need to hand over the stick to the people. This process enables the people to make a choice and take action on their own behalf with self-confidence from a position of economic, political and social strength. Number 9, self-criticism. This means that the development researchers ought to examine their own behavior continuously and critically. They must develop a separate to self-criticism. Self-criticism or self-awareness is the ability of each person to accurately analyze his or her own work or his or her own behavior or attitude in undertaking work to distinguish good from bad practice. Such an analysis would help in acknowledging one's own behavior and to discuss the causes and effects of those errors. Self-critical awareness is an act of frankness, courage, comradeship and awareness of one's responsibility. It's a proof of will to accomplish and to accomplish properly. To criticize oneself is to reconstruct oneself from within in order to serve better. Self-critical awareness includes embracing the error. The development researcher needs to welcome the error as an opportunity to learn. They have to face failure positively. Such an attitude helps the development researcher to pursue development research with a sense of honesty and devotion. It also helps them to go nearer to the people and ultimately helps them to serve them better. Now let us talk about the approach to development research. An approach which is to be subsumed under the heading of development research must possess more balance between development and research. In their comprehensive analysis of developmental research, Ritchie and Nelson draw a distinction between two approaches, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 approach entails researchers assuming partially the roles within a specific development context. This type of research is typically conducted throughout the entire development cycle. Moreover, type 1 research entails researchers immersing themselves in a specific development context, allowing them to gain first-hand insights into intricacies of the process. This approach is characterized by active involvement throughout the entire development cycle, enabling researchers to closely observe and analyze the various stages and factors at play. On the other hand, type 2 approach involves a more detached relationship, where researchers do not directly participate in the development process. Instead, they study these processes including the tools and models employed by others to derive conclusions that have broader applicability. Further, type 2 researcher takes a more observational stance. Researchers in this approach do not directly participate in the development process, but rather examine it from a distance. They meticulously study practices, tools and models employed by others, aiming to extract generalizable principles that can be applied across different contexts. This detached perspective allows for a broader understanding of the underlying mechanisms and patterns that drive successful development. Nevertheless, both type 1 and type 2 approach have their merits and limitations. Now, let us have a look at the major approach to the development research. First, explorative design studies. The first type worth mentioning is explorative design studies. The activities undertaken under this type precede the actual development work and aim at clarifying the design problem in context and at generating tentative design ideas. Such explorations can be very valuable in directing development work. However, we may not include these studies under the heading of scientific research because they do not aim at statements of a more or less generalizable nature. Second, formative studies. The research activities performed during the entire development process of a specific intervention, from exploratory studies through formative and summative evaluation studies, are known as formative research. It aims at the optimization of quality of the intervention as well as testing development strategies and principles. Reconstructive studies. The research activities conducted sometimes during but often after the development process of several interventions are known as reconstructive studies. They focus on the articulation and specification of strategies and principles of development. Obviously, this typology does not pay justice to many possible differences and linkages between various sorts of development research. The boundaries and labels are not very strict. For instance, exploratory design studies often convert to formative research, but they do make a distinction between approach with relative different emphasis. While this typology offers a useful framework for categorization, it should not be regarded as an exhaustive representation of the field. Numerous nuances and complexities exist within the realm of development research that cannot be fully encapsulated by this classification system. Moreover, it is important to recognize that the boundaries between different approaches are not fixed, and there is often a degree of fluidity and overlap between them. For instance, exploratory design studies may evolve into formative research as new insights are gained and hypotheses are refined. This highlights the dynamic nature of development research and the need for flexibility in our understanding of its various methodologies. Dear students, now let us talk about the types of development research. In development work, research is undertaken for mainly two reasons. First, informing about the program either as needs assessment before starting or as monitoring and evaluation as program develops, and to learn more about the issues with a view to influencing policy. Based on focused development, research can be broadly classified as: first, policy focused research; second, program focused research. Research is a crucial aspect of development work, serving two primary purposes. Moreover, it provides valuable insights into the program either by conducting a needs assessment before commencing or by monitoring and evaluating its progress as it unfolds. Secondly, Research allows for a deeper understanding of pertinent issues with the ultimate goal of influencing policy decisions. Within the realm of development research, two broad classifications emerge: policy-focused research and program-focused research. Policy-focused research. This type of research aims to bring forth new issues into the public domain, offering fresh perspectives on ongoing matters. It strives to provide compelling evidence regarding the potential benefits of specific policies. Additionally, it seeks to consolidate and learn from various studies in order to bolster a well-informed policy position. Second, program-focused research. This research means conducting an investigation into the needs of a community or a specific group of people is crucial. Similarly, it is essential to thoroughly investigate necessity for a particular program. Furthermore, it is imperative to provide a compelling demonstration of effectiveness of said program through evaluation. Research serves as a backbone of development work, providing valuable insights and informing decision-making process. By classifying research into policy-focused and program-focused categories, development practitioners can effectively address the diverse challenges and opportunities that arise in their pursuit of impactful and sustainable development outcomes. Now let us conclude this lecture. Development research involves the systematic and comprehensive investigation of various factors related to the development process, spanning economic, social, political, and environmental dimensions. In the context of development work, research serves diverse functions, such as exploring problems to plan effective programs, understanding community needs, collecting detailed information on specific issues, and evaluating the outcomes of development initiatives. The purpose of development research extends to informing decision-making processes, addressing specific policy-related issues, and assisting practitioners in achieving their objectives. Development practitioners, similar to researchers, engage in activities such as situation analysis, need assessments, and investigations into the root causes of problems. Collaboration with the individuals is a key aspect, helping them understand their circumstances beyond the individual level. While development researchers employ similar methods as conventional researchers, their approach differs in certain respects. Both may use interviews, observations, and group discussions to understand community priorities. However, development researcher places a strong emphasis on informal interactions, treating people as partners and collaborators in their research. They position themselves as learners, actively listening to the voices of the people they engage with, valuing community knowledge and wisdom, and recognizing the importance of sharing information. That brings me to the end of this lecture. I look forward to our next meeting, where we can explore a new topic. Until then, goodbye and take care.